I'm sorry, I lied in the title of the video. I didn't play Zenless Zone Zero for 30 days. I actually played it for 40 days. I don't know, I just thought that 30 days sounded better as a title. I did this because I wanted to find out if Zenless Zone Zero was worth playing as a free-to-play player. I wanted to find out how far you could take an account within about a month of playtime, but most importantly, I wanted to know, is the game fun even if you don't spend money on it? Now, of course, you will have a better time if you can get all of the characters and weapons that you want, right? And at any point, you can just throw money at a gacha game and make that happen. Or you can get extremely lucky, which is why I might be a little biased. So first, let me tell you my story. I originally started playing Zenless in version 1.1. Billy is one of the first characters that you get in the game because he is given to you for free, and I instantly fell in love with this character.
Yo, 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 ladies! Good job today, as always. As a reward for your hard work, I got you some high-quality gun oil.
I knew that he was going to be a character that I used for the foreseeable future. But it turns out that that future wasn't very long because I quit the game after 5 days of playing. I was running 3 different Genshin Impact accounts at that time. Please don't ask. So I didn't want to add another gacha game on top of that. Now, fast forward to Miyabi's release, I was like, damn, this character is sick. So I instantly re-downloaded Zenless Zone Zero to see if I could pull Miyabi. Here's the scenario. I log in with only like 5 days left on Miyabi's banner. I know, very smart move. This is definitely how you get characters in gacha games. But I log in, I complete all of the events that are going on at the time. I complete all of the main story in Zenless Zone Zero. I do a majority of the side quests within the game. I think after you complete the main story, the agent stories, in most of the side commissions that they give you, I think there's like 180 pulls worth of polychrome just in the game, just from doing the side content and the main story. And I know that's not the most currency that you can get out of all gacha games, but it's pretty good for the way that the system works. So with Zenless Zone Zero being a gacha game where you receive a limited amount of currency per patch, your experience is inherently tied to how well your pulls go. Or in a simpler sense, if you get really lucky with character and weapon banners, it feels really good. So how do the banners work? Zenless Zone Zero has the same banner system for character banners as in Genshin Impact. You are guaranteed an S-rank character after 90 pulls, but statistically, you will probably get an S-rank character before the 90 pulls. You hit soft pity at 74 pulls, so it's probably going to be somewhere between 74 and 80 pulls where you get that S-rank. But once you get your S-rank character, there is a 50-50 shot at you getting the on-banner character or some random standard banner character. Now, during my 40 days of play, after doing a bunch of grinding, I eventually saw my very first S-rank summoning animation. I was super excited to see who I would get, and I was really hoping that it was going to be Miyabi so that I could start using the rest of my pulls towards getting her weapon. But unfortunately, I didn't get Miyabi. But fortunately, I got Lycone. Now, this handsome wolf butler right here is the original reason I installed the game in the first place. He was the character that I wanted the most off of the standard banner. So I was actually super stoked that I lost my 50-50 to him. So after I got Lycone, I kept playing through the game, and I actually ended up getting lucky, and Miyabi came home after only 40 more pulls on her banner. My experience in the game has been pretty positive so far because my luck was a little bit above average. But while getting lucky in gacha games is very cool, there still needs to be things to do within the game. So what does Zenless Zone Zero have that can keep people hooked? Well, the combat in this game is very fast-paced, very fluid. There are constantly bright lights and flashy animations happening on screen. But on top of that, this game just oozes charisma. It feels very good to play. Cutscene animations are amazing and abundant. They constantly give you beautiful story animations as you progress through the game. Even the menus look incredible. Like, I could stay here for a while. Like, look at that. Have you ever seen that before? No, you have not. And the game feels very responsive. Whenever I get hit by something, I feel like I was the one who messed up. It felt like it was my fault, not because of something janky happening within the game. And something that I actually like is if all you are trying to do is clear the main story and play your favorite characters, you can definitely do that. Zenless Zone Zero's difficulty for the main game and events is relatively low. So if you don't want to, you aren't forced to dig into the game's mechanics just to be able to experience the story. You can get by simply by using your basic attacks and dodging whenever you see the bright orange light. Oh my god, how am I so good at the game? But if you want to tackle endgame content, then you're going to have to start figuring out what makes a good team, saving polychrome for characters that make your team work, and properly building all of the characters on your team. Then, once you finally have your team built, you are going to have to learn your team's rotations and the enemy's attack patterns so that you can get through the fight without dying. And there are actually a good amount of endgame modes for you to play, even though, as of recording this video, we are only in version 1.5. But there is a downside to Zenless Zone Zero, and it is the same downside that basically all gacha games have. And that is the amount of time and resources it takes to build a single character. In most gacha games that I've played, it takes around 2 to 4 weeks to get the resources necessary to build a single character. It takes so long to fully build one character that gacha games have mains. Is this a fighting game? What do you mean you main Noel? I main Miyabi because I don't have anyone else built, because I have no resources. I can't even get her to level 60. I am broke. It takes bare minimum 3 weeks to max a character in Zenless Zone Zero simply because of the core skills. You need 9 of these whatchamacallits to max out a character's core skill. And you can only get these things through notorious hunts, which you can only do 3 times a week. Each notorious hunt only gives you 1 material, so that's why it takes 3 weeks. But that is only one type of material for one specific thing that you need to level up to fully build a character. There is so much more crap that you need. You also need higher dimensional data, ethereal pursuits to level up your core skills. You need specialized chips to level up your agent's skills. You need certification seals to promote your agents past their level cap. And once they are past their level caps, you need yet another material to actually level up your agents. And let's not even start with the disk drive system, or artifacts, or relics, whatever you want to call them in your game. Chocolate chips? You're telling me I need good rolls on raspberries? What is bro waffling about? Why these systems feel really bad is a whole can of worms that I don't really want to go into in this video, but the TLDR is that trying to get the stats that you need on your disk drives in Zenless Zone Zero is never guaranteed. So you could be farming forever and never get what you need. Now, to be fair, that's unlikely, but it's possible, which is stupid. Now, this problem with building characters feels way worse when you are first starting a gacha game, because you start with 0 resources and you have to build a team of 3 characters. So it makes it feel like you are always short on resources at first. But you can actually stockpile a lot of the materials that it takes to level up characters throughout the time that you play the game. Participating in the events that gacha games have give you some of these level up materials, on top of using whatever the stamina system is to hoard talent and level up materials. In Zenless Zone Zero, that system is battery charge, and you get 240 battery charge every 24 hours. On top of that, you get an additional 80 battery charge once per day by visiting the coffee shop. You can use battery charge to farm materials to level up W engines, characters, and skills. So basically, the longer that you have played Zenless, the easier it feels to build characters, because you start to realize that you already have most of the stuff that you need. But when you are first starting out, it kinda sucks. So if you are trying to clear Zenless Zone Zero's endgame content as a free-to-play player, then it might take you a while, because you can only gather a limited amount of resources per day. Which honestly isn't the worst thing ever. It will at least feel more satisfying once you are finally able to clear the endgame content. But I know what you're asking. What endgame content does Zenless Zone Zero provide? Oh yeah, so I'm recording this during Evelyn's banner. It is currently version 1.5, and there is a surprising amount of endgame content for it only being version 1.5. We have Shiyu Defense, which if you have played Genshin Impact, it's very similar to the Spiral Abyss in that game. You basically go through multiple nodes, and each of these nodes have 2 sides, so you do need 2 separate teams, 1 for each side. And each side has multiple waves of enemies that you have to defeat in 5 minutes or less. Or rather, you need at least 5 minutes remaining if you're trying to S rank it. If you're just trying to go for the A rank, you can have 180 seconds left. Or if you're just trying to go for the B rank, you just need to beat all the enemies within the allotted time, and it gives you 10 minutes to beat everything. We also have Hollow Zero, which has the Lost Void. And the Lost Void is very similar to Simulated Universe and Honkai Star Rail if you've played that game. Basically, you're trying to progress through the Battlefront Purge until you get to the big bad enemy at the end. But then also in here, we do have the Withered Domain, which I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done very much of yet. It looks like I just did the tutorial section and then I haven't done anything else yet. So we do also have this mode. I'm just not fully sure what it is. Then over here in Area Investigation, we do have the Mystery of Arpeggio Fault, and we have something that's gonna be coming over here. It says stay tuned, coming soon. So we are gonna have some other endgame mode in the future. There's also the Endless Tower, which is like 100 floors of different enemies. It is extremely hard. Like every single floor gets progressively more difficult. See, me personally, I've only reached floor 11 in the tower. And then the last game mode, I believe, is Deadly Assault. Deadly Assault requires that you have 3 different teams, so I have not gotten very far in this at all. You pick 3 different teams and you face 3 different bosses. Basically, to get 3 stars against each boss in Deadly Assault, you need to reach 20,000 points, and you can earn points by either doing damage or specific things for each boss. Like right here for the Dead End Butcher, it says successfully triggering perfect assist grants 300 performance points. But yeah, this game mode is also very difficult for a new account. I think that I got 1 and 2 stars, and then I didn't have a 3rd team to do the last one. So that was it for me. So what kind of teams can you expect to have in Zenless Zone Zero after 40 days of playing the game? Well, with the teams that I currently have, I was able to do all of the stable nodes. These ones are way easier than the critical nodes. This one resets every like 14 days, I believe. So I was able to S rank the first 3. This one, I kept dying. I'm just not good enough at the game. And I will talk about the teams that I'm currently running. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned somewhere in this video that I love Billy. Like, oh my, this character is incredible. I knew from the beginning that I was for sure going to be using Billy. I just didn't know how I was going to be using him. And I also knew for sure that I was going to be using Miyabi because I did stay up super late 5 nights in a row farming for her. So I knew that I was going to be using her as well. I did not know that I was also going to be able to use Aster Yao. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said something like my luck was a little bit above average. On Hoyoverse games, my luck has been horrible for the most part. In Cookie Run Kingdom, I was kind of goated. I was pulling back-to-back legendary cookies. I was popping off. But besides Cookie Run Kingdom and Zenless Zone Zero, I have had horrible luck in every other gacha game that I've played. So I was definitely not expecting to get Aster Yao, because Aster Yao was on the very next banner after Miyabi. But she seemed like such a good universal support, and she did work really well with Miyabi. Like, most characters work pretty well with Miyabi. So I figured, what's the harm? I might as well try some rolls on her banner, and if anything, the pity will carry over to the next character I try and roll for. But then something crazy happened. The very first 10 pull that I did, I got an S rank character. Yup, that is correct. The very next 10 pull after I got Miyabi, I got Coletta. Yay, I lost the 50-50. But the thing was, it was a back-to-back. It was the very next 10 pull, so it was still very good luck. Now, the really insane luck happened 20 pulls later, where when 20 pulls later, I got Aster Yao, and I was like, holy crap. Which it's still very unlikely that anything like this will happen. My track record from other gacha games definitely proves that. Now, the normal thing that's probably going to happen in Zenless Zone Zero is you're going to go to 75 pity, and at around 75 pity, you will get an S rank character, and you might win the 50-50. But obviously, it's a 50-50, so 50% of the time, you are going to lose it. So in every single Hoyoverse gacha game that I've ever played, I always make sure to have 25,000 gems to make sure that I actually get that character if I really want them. But the insanity doesn't end there. As you can see, I do have Chingy right here because I was looking at my Billy team and I was like, man, Chingy would be such a good stun unit for my Billy team. And Nicole is on the banner. You know, we need some Mindscapes for Nicole, right? Luckily, now my Nicole is at M4. But yeah, I very recently got Chingy, so she isn't built yet. She's not really leveled up yet. I don't even have a good disk drive set for... I don't really have a good disk drive set for most of my characters yet. But yeah, it only took me 50 pulls to get Chingy, and I won the 50-50. Like, holy crap. So I did want to preface with that first and let you guys know what happened for when I answer the question, is Zenless Zone Zero worth playing as a free-to-play player? Because honestly, I don't think that kind of luck is normal. Like, honestly, I think that's pretty crazy. Since I've been playing every single banner, I've gotten a character off of it. So obviously, I've been having a really good time with this game because I've gotten every single character that I wanted. But I do want to say that even if luck didn't go my way, I would have just used a different team. Because at the end of the day, I think that Zenless Zone Zero is just a fun game. It feels like a good hack and slash action game that has a gacha system attached to it. Yes, characters can take a while to build, but I have always enjoyed building characters in gacha games. Now, do I wish it took less time to build them? Yes, I do. But I don't think that takes away from what the team has done here. I have never seen this much effort put into a gacha game before. The insane level of animation really helps bring all of these characters to life. And sorry if this video is kind of messy, I wasn't planning on making this a video at first. I just wanted to try out Zenless Zone Zero, but I ended up really enjoying the game, so I wanted to talk about it. Now, with all of that being said, is Zenless Zone Zero worth playing as a free-to-play player? I would definitely say yes. Some gacha games will really roadblock your progress to try to make it feel like you need to spend money in order to progress. But at no point during my 47 days of playing Zenless Zone Zero did I feel like I needed to spend money. And I feel like Zenless helps out with that because there are a lot of times where they give you trial characters during the story so that you can still clear the levels even if you haven't built your characters yet. Now, will I continue to be free to play in this game? That depends, because right now I feel no need to spend money on the game. But if I feel like making content for the game in the future, I might spend money here and there on it just so I have the freedom to build/roll for more characters at a faster rate. So yeah, if you were looking for a new gacha game to play in your spare time, I would recommend Zenless Zone Zero. But that is going to be the end of today's video. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much. It really helps me out. And just remember, you don't have to believe yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you. And I'll see you in the next video.